Hello, my dear children. How are you all? I hope that you all are doing good. Welcome back to the social science class. Today, let us study the second chapter in geography, that is Indian physiography. So, children, in this lesson, we will be studying about the general features of the landforms of India, physiographic divisions of India, and the important features of the physical divisions. So let us get started with the explanation. Pay attention. As you all know, India is a vast country and diversity is its speciality. We even have a variety of landforms. Landforms include mountains, plateaus, plains, valleys and coastal plains. So these have influence on the river system, climate, the natural vegetation, land use, agriculture, transport, distribution of population, etc. So on the basis of physiography, India can be divided into four major divisions. They are the northern mountains, the northern Great Plains, the Peninsula Plateau, and the coastal plains and the islands. Let us study one by one. First, the northern mountains. They comprise of the Himalayas, which are a group of young fold mountains. They extend as a continuous chain along the northern boundary of our country. Here we can find the highest mountain ranges in the world. They have highest peaks, deep valleys and gorges. Gorges means narrow valleys. Even glaciers and passes can be found here. In India, they extend from the Indus Gorge in the west to the Brahmaputra Gorge in the east for 2,400 kilometers. The width varies from 240 to 320 kilometers. They are broader in the west and narrower in the east. They cover an area of about 5 lakh kilometers square or 5 lakh square kilometers. Generally, they have steep slopes towards India, that is, especially the southern part, and gentle slopes towards north, that is, in Tibet. The Himalayas consist of three parallel ranges, that is, Greater Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas, and the Shivaliks. The first one, the Greater Himalayas. They are the innermost, continuous, and highest ranges. The average height of these ranges are 6,100 meters. These ranges have many peaks, of which Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. The Mount Everest is 8,848 meters high. The other peaks are Kanchanajunga, Makalu, Dhaulagiri, Manaslu, and Nanda Devi. As the greater Himalayas are always covered with snow, that is, whole year it is covered with snow, such ranges are called as Himadri. Hima means snow. They are the home of many glaciers, that is, huge mass of ice, such as Gangotri and Yamunotri glaciers. There are many passes such as Burzil, Lozila, Shipkila, etc. The mountains lying to the northwest of the Himadri are called Trans-Himalayas. They comprise of Karakoram range, where the highest peak, K2 or Mount Godwin Austen, is located. It is the highest peak in India. Let us now study about the lesser Himalayas. These ranges are located to the south of the Greater Himalayas. They are also known as Himachal. They are 60 to 80 kilometers wide and 1500 to 4500 meters high. The eastern part is covered with forest, and there are many parallel ranges in the lesser Himalayas. Example, the Pir Panjal, the Dauladar, the Naga Tippa, the Masuri, the Mahabharat, and the Darjeeling ranges. They contain many valleys such as Kashmir Valley, Kangra Valley, Kulu Valley, etc. These are also noted for hill stations. Which are some of the famous hill stations, children? Yes, Shimla, Ranikhet, Mussoorie, Nainital, and Darjeeling. So, where you find such valleys and hill stations? In the Himachal. Now, let us study about the Shivalik Hills. They are the outermost ranges or foothills located to the south of the main Himalayas. Therefore, they are also known as Outer Himalaya. They are the lowest range of the Himalayas with a height of 600 to 1500 meters and width varying from 15 to 150 kilometer. So we see how these mountain ranges become lesser and lesser in their height compared to the ranges which were found in the greater Himalayas. The ranges or the hills which are found in the Shivaliks are less in height. They extend from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Arunachal Pradesh in the east. They have flat bottom structured valleys which are known as dunes, and the best example for dunes are Dehradun. Let us now study about the importance of the Himalaya mountains. These mountains act as a natural frontier and protect our country from the foreign invasion. They prevent the chilly cold winds that blow from Central Asia. These mountains obstruct the rain bearing winds and cause heavy rainfall. Their slopes have thick forest and are ideal or suitable for growing plantation crops. Example, tea in Assam. They are even the storehouse of minerals. Varieties of minerals are found on the Himalayas. Not only that, they are the birthplace of many rivers and waterfalls which are used to generate hydroelectric power. Now we will study about the second physical division of India, that is the Northern Great Plain. It lies between the Himalayas and the Peninsula Plateau of India, and these plains are formed by the deposition work of the three river systems. The three rivers, that is the Satluj, the Ganga, and the Brahmaputra. As they flow, they carry along with it large deposits of alluvial soil. Okay, that is from the east to west, a length of 2500 kilometers of area, the alluvial soil is deposited. Its average width, it varies from 240 to 340 kilometers. It covers an area of about 7 lakh square kilometers. The plain is formed from the fertile alluvium which is deposited by the rivers which flow from the Himalayas. And these plains are very flat and the rocks are not exposed on the surface. Let us now understand about the importance of the Northern Great Plains. These plains are very much suitable for irrigation and also agriculture because it has perennial rivers. Perennial rivers means what? Rivers are always full of water, and even the soil is fertile. that is alluvial soil is formed or found here, and it even supports a good network of roads, railways, that is it's good for transportation and also means of communication. They are even useful for industrialization, that is growth of industries, urbanization, that is growth of towns and cities, and also for trade or business. We can even find a number of pilgrim centers, that is holy places are also located here. So, children, today we began the study of the second chapter in geography, that is Indian physiography. And I've explained to you about the first two physical divisions of India, that is the northern mountains and the northern Great Plains. Hope you have understood the explanation. Thank you and have a nice day.